Hello everyone, my name is Lenny from Code with Lenny Len, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you variables. So variables in programming are just like representatives of data. For example, I would say x is equal to 10, like you know in mathematics, y is equal to, let's say, 50. Okay, so hopefully most of you have encountered this kind of statements somewhere, maybe in the internet, maybe in your mathematics classes or something. But variables are a very useful tool in programming. They're just representatives. And to get started with, I'd like to show you the syntax of a variable. So you just put the variable name, then the equal sign, then the value. Okay, so in programming terms we say that the variable name is assigned a value. Okay, so that's just something extra you may need to know. So to get started with, let us do a practical example like x is equal to 10. So what this is the variable name, the equal sign, and the value. This means that letter x has been assigned the value 10. Okay, so that's all in variables. Other thing that you need to know about variables is that the variable name is kind of sensitive. So we'll do something like variables cannot have spaces. For example, my variable is equal to 1,000. This is wrong. In Python, we don't have spaces in the variables, in the variable name, sorry. So this will give you an error if you try to run it. Otherwise, if you do not have spaces, we have the option of using underscores. Okay, so an underscore is accepted, or you can just merge your whole word. But to make it more readable, you can just case the first letter of each word. For example, my variable. So you can see my variable. The capital V tells us that there should be 2 words, but that's according to you. The variable name can be anything, so long as it's not in the Python's what is it called, reserved words. Okay, so reserved words are strictly for Python only. And when I say reserved words, there's those words that when you write something, they turn color. For example, sum is equal to 10. This is wrong. So sum is a reserved word. That means that Python uses this word for its own special functions. Another thing that I cannot say is, let's say something like list is equal to 20 or 200. That is wrong. If I say is equal to maybe 250 or 260, that is still wrong. Provided that you write a variable name and it changes color, just know that that is wrong and that will not be acceptable in the Python interpreter. Okay, so that's the general rules of a variable. The variable name has no spaces. You have the option of using underscores, or you can just case the first letter of each word. You use the equal sign to assign a value to the variable. Okay, the variable name can be anything, can be any word. You can even put let's say my cat. Maybe my cat is 4 years old. I can say my cat is equal to 4. Okay, so it can be anything, provided that this variable name, during writing it, it does not show up in a different color, or it does not match to any of the Python's reserved words. Okay, so if you need a list of reserved words, you can just Google it. Just say Python reserved words or something, and all the reserved words will come up and you will see what I mean. So to get started with, I would like to show you a now practical example of how we can use variables in our everyday applications. So for example, x is equal to 10. I can just go ahead and print x. So instead of printing 10, I'll just print x, and x, because it's equal to 10, will print 10. So I'll just save and run to show you this. And you can see 10 has been printed. That means that the variable x is assigned the value 10. So I can have another variable, let's say y is equal to 500, and I can just write y So if I press F5 to run, we should get 500. So as you can see from these two very simple examples, X and Y are both letters, but they have been assigned values. So this makes them variables. And remember, variables can be used in mathematical operations. For example, X plus Y. So this will add 500 to 10, and you can press F5 to run. And as you can see now, this is 510. So it has just added X, which was 10, to Y, which was 500, to give you 510. You can also do some simple things like X times Y. Multiplications in programming, almost all languages use the asterisk to show that this is a times or multiplication symbol. So you can see that's now 5,000, that is 10 times 500. And you can do other things like divide and all these kinds of cool stuff we've been doing with Python so far. And you can see it has divided and given us the answer. So this is a very simple use of variables. Variables cannot be values of numbers only, they can also be letters. For example, I can say Lenny is equals to, let's say, YouTube. I will go ahead and print Lenny. F5 to run. So that will print YouTube. That means that the variable Lenny has been assigned the value YouTube. So remember, variables can also be numbers, can be floats, can be decimals, can be what are these? Strings. So you have an option of a wide range of selections to pick to you put your variables. So one thing you may have noticed is that when printing a variable, we don't put the quotation marks. For example, print, if we will print Lenny here, this will be wrong, it won't work. So let me get rid of this one, F5 to run. And because I've put the quotation marks, it'll just print the string Lenny. So you can remember from our previous tutorials, I showed you how to print out strings, how to print out numbers. So when printing out variables, because they already have their values, you don't need to put the quotation marks. You just say Lenny, and this Python will check Lenny, then it will refer to what value it was given, and it will print out the value. Okay, so remember that variables don't need quotation marks when printing out, and they can be assigned to almost anything, like let's say strings or numbers or floats or long numbers. You can use variables to do your arithmetic calculations. You can use Python to do string formatting things like let's say Lenny, then I can say Lenny2 is equals to cool. Then I can just merge these two like I showed you in the previous tutorial, Lenny plus Lenny2. If I will save and run this, we get YouTube cool. So it has just merged the same way we looked at in the previous tutorial, and this shows us how useful variables can be. So you can use them to create cool stuff, you can use them to do cool tricks, you can show your friends the far that you have learned in Python. Everything is picking up well. So long as you know variables, we can now move on quite fast, and I hope you're going to continue with me. You're going to follow up these tutorials. Please like and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.